very few people shut down at all. That's why we were so busy last year. And that's why you had
You want to
record
send
here.
checks to people, Mary, or whatever?
Oh, we're outdoors.
I'm gonna make
Yeah,
a
we
weren't
motion
shut
to
down.
close the executive session and return to the public meeting. I'm sorry to be
That's
such a
okay.
stickler, somebody who wrote minutes.
Call the roll.
Good.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, motion passed. We'll go back into the regular session, and we are live on television, on YouTube at this point.
Can we take like a 5-minute break until these
We
people
can.
want to come back?
We absolutely can.
We're taking a break.
5
Take a
minutes.
break, take a smoke break.
Good. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
45 is fine, 46.
We will resume the open session in 5 minutes.
45 minutes.
Let's see if I did it right.
46 is Joe's, 45 is mine.
Well,
See? 46.
it's mine.
He said vice versa. Right?
Yeah. And this one this is mine, 40.
46.
Whatever that number is.
Right here, 746. 746 on mine.
Yes. Keep it simple.
That's one there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just gonna highlight.
absolutely. What you want, you know, like we talked about, what you want is to be the know what happened.
Right, I
Don't
know,
he said, she
I
said.
know, I'm getting too worried.
It's so funny. You want people to.
Right. I can't work on, I got company, so I won't be able to work on until this weekend, so.
Yeah, and I'm busy all week. You got my next about the GCB. Okay, because the night, I was to have a future board meeting at the business center. I was just gonna say that we were gonna do it until that.
I will go to these officials next month.
Well, October is what they talked about, talked about the make sure that that's what I told you.
Spend time if they can have time.
They go from that one to this one. One of my roles has become also my Grafton's part of GCBA is a Tuesday. And it's a 7 meetings to 4 bucks. And so that was the night to bring them here. So that when they have to drive over here, at least it's traffic. Because I don't know that I could but and I put words about it. I bet we went to the our words. That's what we
The address I have is for old city was I sent it to Trick, bounce to Trick.
A lot of emotions.
Yeah. Then, do me a favor, you have a cell phone, right?
Is she coming back?
That's nice. She's done. Trust me, she's spent by now. Would you call her? And ask her.
We have,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
they're coming.
Yeah, last week, you know.
Yes,
I
you.
leave at 10 or 8 o'clock.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
You have Lou's current email address, don't you? Yeah, isn't it Lou.Linkman@att.net?
That's what I have.
I gave Tree Beat.
Maybe, did you?
That's enough.
That's the email address I have.
Only 3.
It's in the comfy seats. Here's Meg.
True.
I've never seen it other than across the table, so people are like so close. So I just got to send me pictures of myself. Any other time, I've sent this human races, so it's been constantly.
So that was the whole purpose of this meeting. Raisins, and I think we know what those raisins are.
Who wants to know? Because I, this is the address I gave. My Tree says it's wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's the address I gave. Trees for
Email address?
Could you put it in wrong, maybe, Donna? Could you just put Lou's address in wrong or something?
That's what I'm asking.
But when I was. See, here's one I just sent to her and went fine.
Maybe it's not the way I heard. I did that all the time.
Oh, my worst is the text, where I'm reading it, but it's not the top line.
Well, yeah, you started your travel plans. I'm like,
You don't care where I'm
I'm
going.
like, is this for me? I think you're texting the wrong person. That was funny. I did that a lot too.
Sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's embarrassing.
A lot of times it's precise. Well, I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Right.
That's good, I don't go to court.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't go to court. I don't like to go to things. I'm too old.
Oh, you're never too old.
Yeah.
Get away from the courtroom.
We have a role of the law firm.
Okay.
I no longer. I have a lot of attorneys. So
That's good.
they need to practice.
Good practice, that's all right.
I have to focus on the court.
No matter where I'm
Yes. As a meeting Yeah, I'm not the brightest guy, but I'm bright enough.
Thank you for
Exactly.
They're gonna give me three choices off the go. I didn't say goodbye, I just have the light. They got me in the wrong spot, I can't worry. Of course.
Happens we know.
We got the volume of others. Yeah. That's what I'm
Dan, I've got a bunch of.
Bottom line.
So I'm gonna bring it.
Peter, what time does the voting night? Yes, it's closed.
Everything's closed.
You're hungry? What time is it? 10 o'clock. 5 after 10.
You better go to the gas station.
I can get you an uncooked piece of hamburger. I'll run to the gas station might be quick. You're going through all this.
Every time you come here,
By the time I drive home, I didn't realize you lived across the river. Whereabouts?
where do you live?
Yes. I have 3 dogs, so I have to start following my feed them like
Next meeting.
They got a lot of food out there.
Nice.
Bring sandwiches for you.
Peanut butter jelly. I'm gonna bring donuts to the office. There you go. No, you don't. That's the cost for stuff like this. I can enjoy his vacation. Right. I guess I'll have to work.
Are we ready to go back in open session?
Yes.
Am I gonna have a motion then to approve the budget? Either 7:45 or 7:46.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 745, providing for an annual budget for the city of Grafton for May 21, 30th day of April 22.
Make sure that's right.
I don't think that's enough.
7:45 is the budget, is my budget. 7:46 is the one that Joe and Andy worked on.
I don't think
Mine's
so.
done. Was that confirmed, Joe?
745 is higher.
That's correct. 7:45 is my budget. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Yeah, there's a there's a question when the raises will go into effect, since raises were passed out in last September. When would the new raises go into effect?
I would say I'd make a motion to make it retroactive to May 1st.
Well, first off, before we go into that motion, we have a motion on the table. I think one of the things that as part of the discussion is that our city attorney, Will, has offered and has turned in his salary to help offset the deficit. So that's going to be an additional $30,000 that goes back into the general fund. And we're very grateful for him to do that. We were working pro bono for the city. And the question that, so that helps to close that gap we're at. The question was that Andy brought up is that when do the pay raises go into effect? And I think you were suggesting 1 September.
Yes.
1 September would help us then to go ahead and get into effect the ordinance that we're going to set up for the tax to help to pay for this. I think that that's a reasonable solution moving forward. Number one, I'm grateful for the attorney for turning in his salary. I'm grateful tonight for also too for Cynthia Hand, who volunteered to pay for the swing. Second thing is Andy and Joe, I agree that yes, we do want to make sure that we're conservative, and I think that closing that, we'll go ahead and get that ordinance into place. I think that 1 September would be a logical fit to start the raises. And then, as I discussed with them earlier, is that then starting on an annual basis of making sure that our employees get raises, not the jump big raises that we've done here in the past, but raises that keep up with the cost of living. Okay? Any discussion? So if we could modify that, modify the motion to have the raises start on 1 September, 745 budget.
Was there going to be discussion about possible 1% food and beverage tax?
Yes, and that's what that was. That's right. What we're going to do is we're going to come up with a showing out here an ordinance that's going to be voted on in the next meeting, first reading, and then second reading, that will apply either a 1 or between a 2% sales tax on food and beverages in Grafton, which will then add, as we figured, roughly the 1% would be what, Joe, about 185,000, you said?
Sales tax is not all food and beverage. There's retail sales. Like you pointed out, for one business that had so much money.
Right.
We would have got $5,000. It's not all. So you get something less.
But it's going to help to fill the deficit that we don't
Maybe
have.
half.
Yeah, maybe half. So we're going to work that ordinance into place for the next meeting, for the first reading and the second reading, and then have a meeting with the business owners as part of that.
Right, public discussion with the business owners who would be feeding that.
So it was interesting. I mean, it was very good, this discussion that we had in closed session, because we came up with not only an immediate help with the budget with the attorney, but also we came up with an option to move forward to help collect revenue for the city, not just for this incident, but also moving forward next year and years after.
Is the salary and the ordinance all part of this motion, or do we need 1, 2, or 3 motions? The motion that was made was to adopt this budget.
Correct.
I would think maybe we could include the salaries to start on September 1st.
That's what I was asking.
But I would think that to go forward to develop and give a directive to the mayor to develop ordinance is probably a separate motion.
Yes. Jim, do you want to modify your motion?
To compromise with this, I I'll find a motion to approve ordinance 745 with the changes being that the pay raises for the people outlined would start September 1st.
We have a second?
Second.
Call the roll.
Sorry, wait a second.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
My apologies, Jim, my mind was somewhere else. Could you repeat that, please?
I make a motion to approve ordinance 745 with the change from my original to add to it the pay raises of the people who are outlined in the budget and make it outlined from the start on September 1st.
And we'll do a second motion for the ordinance.
We have to vote on this one.
Right. I'm saying, look like Andy was gonna ask a question.
Will you second it?
Alan seconded, yes.
Call the roll.
Yes.
No, or, you did.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passed. And I have a motion then to direct the mayor to work on the ordinance for the 1 to 2% tax. What do we call the tax?
Suspend the rules.
Or do you even need to give him on the work? You need to give me a,
I move to suspend the rules so that we can make an ordinance, to initiate a food and beverage tax at between 1 and 2%.
I'll second that.
call the roll.
Yes.
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 All right.
Motion that we create a food and beverage tax between 1 to 2%, to begin, as soon as we can possibly put it in place.
Second.
You said second.
Food and
Peter.
beverage.
Okay, so,
Call the roll.
did you say just put on the just?
Food and beverage.
Richard?
Yes.
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 Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. Call the roll.
Richard?
Good.
Jim?
Yes.
Yes.
Apologize for the late meeting, but I think it was a good one. Thank you all.
Appreciate you. Ben's gonna love that.
That's all I got.